Now it's time for more of Southern California's sports fishing voice. Let's talk Hookup. Get ready for more of the best fishing information and the hottest tips on improving your angling skills. Let's Talk Hookup is sponsored in part by Ford, the official truck of Let's Talk Hookup. Shimano Rods and Reels. Fish with the best. Shimano. And by Rancho Leonero, where your wildest Baja dreams come true. And now, Southern California's sports fishing voice, the hosts of Let's Talk Hookup, Pete Gray, Rock Cod Rick Maxa, and Corey Sandin.
And welcome back, hour number 2, Let's Talk Hookup, right here on the Let's Talk Hookup app and the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio. Pete Gray here with Rock Cod Rick Maxa in the world headquarters of Let's Talk Hookup here, right overlooking the San Diego landings in Point Loma. Captains Gavin Harbour and Matt Bralla from Captain's Concepts, and of course, Matt runs the San Diego along with Captain Ryan Boston, and Gavin, of course, runs the Pacific Queen. Now, does anybody else run it but you?
Yeah, Drew.
Once in a while, Drew runs it.
Occasionally, like
I kind of threw that out just to give Drew a hard time. He comes out of
retirement, right? And then my relief operator is Billy Santiago.
Okay, great. Yeah, so
Drew makes an occasional cameo.
Yeah, he comes
once in a while,
once or twice a year. Just make sure he knows how to park the boats.
So. We like to give him a hard time.
You guys are in a serious maintenance project right now with the boat.
Yeah, we've been...
Maintenance maybe isn't the word, like upgrade maybe is the word.
We've been quiet for a while, but we've been, the whole crew, I just watched them right now. They're walking down the boat. They're about 5 minutes late, but I'm not there. But yeah, we wrapped up our last trip. We came back to San Diego the day before Thanksgiving on a Wednesday, and we hauled the boat out in the boatyard on Monday, and we haven't stopped. We're there, 5 to 7 days a week. We completely refurbished our whole stateroom area, top to bottom. I mean, from everything.
You're not talking you put new wallpaper up. Like
No.
We literally chainsawed it out of there.
We took out the floor, the supports for the floor, the air conditioning. Literally every piece of, like you walk down to the boat right now, every piece of wood that you see is brand new. Brand new.
Wow.
And all our systems, the bunks are bigger. We were able to make one stateroom area a little bit bigger. All new bunk pads, ceiling, walls, floors, literally everything that you could imagine in there is going to be all brand new for this year.
That's awesome.
Wow, and that'll be starting April 1st, you said?
Yeah, April 1st.
That's the target.
Yeah, no, April 1st we're running.
Oh, you're running no matter what.
No target, you're going there.
Yeah, we don't have doors on our rooms down there, but we'll be fishing.
That's
and of course, Matt, the San Diego's running today, first day of the season, right?
Oh yeah, Ryan's out there right now.
So hopefully we'll hear from him catching yellowtail as the season goes on. So speaking of finding out what's fishing, let's go on the catch report here.
You got it, man. It's time for that fishdope.com report today, sponsored by Gamakatsu Nautilus circle hooks, including the brand new sizes of Gamakatsu Nautilus, the number 2s and number 4s, perfect for finicky yellowfin and bluefin, from the Nautilus Light Wire, the regular Nautilus, and the Nautilus HD. Having the ability to choose the right size wire gauge on a circle hook can be key, and with Gamakatsu Nautilus hooks, you have the choice and the confidence that you're using the finest hooks made. Stock up on Gamakatsu Nautilus circle hooks at selected tackle stores. Let's find out what's going on with our private boater buddy, Captain Mark Wish of Pacific Edge is on the line. Good morning, Mark.
Hey, good morning, Ricky, Pete, Gavin, Matt. What a fantastic show, man. I'm having a blast listening to you guys talking fishing over there.
Thanks, Mark.
It's awesome. So here we are, guys. It's almost mid-March, a week away from the official start of spring, thank goodness. It feels like it. The sun's getting a little higher, days longer, a little warmer, which feels good to me. I love it. And more importantly, a little more signal out there on the water. Over at Catalina, a little sprinkle of sea bass just about everywhere now, it seems like. Backside east is getting most of the headlines. Backside west has definitely had some fish. Haven't heard much from the back middle there, but that'll be coming soon. And there's still a dab of bait to be made on the front side in the isthmus, kind of in that Lionhead sector like that. And then backside east from the V's to Silver Canyon to Salta Verde like that, there's scattered squid in there also. And for a little bonus, if you guys are fishing up Bonitas on the front side there's been some of that nicer grade early season yellowtail mixed in with that. So that island's definitely starting to wake up from the wintertime doldrums. Over at San Clemente, finally starting to get some coverage and some worthy reports. There's been a little bit of bait to be made backside west outside the dunes there, 18, 20 fathoms like that. And a little bit of good grade yellow mixed in with it. A couple different catches have been made. And with a few more boats today, I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see some more of that, and hopefully they scratch out a sea bass or two. It's time for that stuff to be in that sector. Also, you also want to keep an eye if you do get over there in that Pyramid Cove caves area like that. There's been bait there on and off, and I wouldn't be surprised there's a few yellows and sea bass hanging out in that sector. Also, hope they do find them, though, because this little weather window we got is going to be slamming shut here pretty soon again for a few days.
Springtime.
Had a lot of wind here this spring. Yeah, it's going to blow again. Yeah. And then along the coast, not a whole lot going on. The cods are snapping pretty well, of course. Bass fishing's been a little on the slow side with the way the water temperature dropped after that last wind. But the good news is we're starting to see a little bit of that tanker-grade sea bass moving in along the kelp lines. It's time for that. Springtime coming. And there's been some good ones around, so that's a whole new dimension. And then offshore, I know we got a little bit of exploratory coverage out there looking around. I know there's at least one boat on that edge that's kind of outside and below the 390 down toward the 213. Those are early season albacore areas from back in the old days, so no telling what they might find, but hopefully they get on some of that bluefin that's been around and starts biting, and that'd be a great dimension to add into these reports here because, man, we love talking about them bluefin tunas. So that's this week's report. Lots of optimism.
Yeah, and of course, fishdope.com has all the stuff. They get it from Mark and all the guys here. $20 off a new membership to fishdope.com using the code HookUpNow. Lowercase, no space. Hookup Now is your $20 code on fishdope.com. And Mark, how do we find you?
Well, P, we're in Huntington Beach. We're on the corner of Bolsa Chica and Edinger by the big Chevron station. The phone number is area code 714-840-4262, and the website's PacificEdgeTackle.com. And I got a question for your Calstar fishing pole expert sitting next to you there, Pete. Ricky, have you ever looked into an 875 MH? I noticed in their blank catalog they offer that. And I just wondered if you'd ever pulled on one of those.
So, yeah, 875 is a cool series, and like the history of the 875s came out of Fisherman's Landing.
No kidding.
Yeah, this was like the previous generation of Guadalupe fishing, like the time before it was shut down and then reopened again. And as you know, the 875 series is a 7.5-foot bait rods, and we used to custom make them starting with an 800 heavy, and we would chop down a little bit from the tip and a little bit from the butt section, that 8-foot rod to a 7.5, a little easier for guys to hang on to. That was like in the crossover time when certainly not everything was fished on the rail, but was kind of starting to go that route. And it's just a very cool, I would call it moderately fast tapered 7-foot bait rod, and the 875H was the first of the series because it was made from an 800H blank, and then now it has extended to an 875XH, which is the next step up, which is more of like a 50-60 pound rod, and then down below the MH would be more of like a 40-50 pound rod. But it's
rail rods?
I would call it a very general purpose 7.5. It's a Calstar. You can do anything with a graphiter, and but not like the 4 series that are super fast tapered. It's just I would call it a fast to moderately fast tapered 7.5-foot rod, and the 875 MH is just the same thing. It's a chopped down version of an 800 MH, just down to 7.5. But a very cool rod for sure.
You better order some blanks, Mark.
It's almost impossible, but yeah, I'm looking for something just about like that. But yeah, Calstar, they're getting better, thank goodness, and as are some of the other ones. But man, I'm just that Calstar guy. I just love that stuff.
It's hard. It's hard not to be, man. No doubt about it. It's tough because Mark said it best. Calstar's, the entire rod factory, as with several others, like it's a half a dozen people that make all of those rods. I mean, the whole process from, starting with a flat piece of fabric, graphite and fiberglass to to rolling and baking and trimming and sanding and wrapping and finishing. Like, it's so much work, and it's just not a lot of people, and it's tough because just like Mark said, it's a Calstar, man. What do you say? They're just so nice. But yeah, they're not easy to get right now, but like Mark said, they are definitely starting to trickle in better and better and better each week.
Cool. Hey, Mark, thanks for the report and the question, and we will talk to you next Saturday.
Okay, you got it, guys. We'll see you.
All
Thanks,
right.
Mark.
All right. While we're waiting for Marcos from Seaforth, you know that guy, Marcos? The guy on the radio?
Yeah,
from
I've seen him
Seaforth?
before.
Yeah, you've seen him before? Yeah.
He's probably just wiping his brow from how a busy morning it was checking the old San Diego in this morning.
Oh, yeah, they do an awesome job of getting us off the dock there.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, while we're waiting for Marcos to roll in for the catch report, we got a great text came through. Said, I'd like to ask the captains from Captain's Concepts, what gear should a prepared angler be on for these early season trips, both the full day and the day and a half, over the next month before the fleet really dials in on the fishing? How do we cover our bases? That's from Mike in San Juan Capistrano.
So for full day fishing, early season yellowtail fishing, like we said, you're going to need a yo-yo rod. That's going to be your main setup. That'll double as a rock cod setup. You could always bring a 25, 30-pound live bait rod in case they're boiling around or we're fishing shallow water rockfish, and a surface iron rod. You never leave home without that. And that basically covers you there. You could fish a dropper loop on that yo-yo rod, and you can fish the yo-yo jig, and that's going to cover you when we're yellowtail fishing early season.
For as far as if you're going on like a day and a half, 3-day trip fishing offshore, if it's anything like the last few years, you can expect some sort of bluefin tuna and some kelp yellowtail. So I would say from the bottom, a 25-pound live bait setup that'll have you covered for smaller size bluefin and any real kelp yellowtail that we're going to see. Up from there, a 40 or 50-pound rod, and you could use that for fly lining for mid-sized fish, 40 to 60-pounders. You could if you have a rod set up for 40 or 50-pound with Spectra, you can adjust your top shot, from even 35 to 50-pound. It can basically be the same setup if you're going simple. A 60-pound rod would be a good one to have, and that would be good for either fishing lures during the daytime, whether it's a Cold Sniper or a 6X Junior. That could also be a good setup to use for sinker rig fishing for whatever size fish, whether it's mid-grade or even bigger ones, a 60-pound outfit. And then a real heavy rod, and that's going to be for if we see any nighttime fishing for whatever size fish, a 100, 130-pound outfit with a variety of heavy nighttime fishing lures, 300-gram heavy lures to fish at night. That would cover your bases right now. Especially, these trips that are going out that, who knows. I know the first couple offshore trips are looking around today, so we'll see what size fish they see. I've heard of some skiffs seeing some 50-pound fish. I know that the Mexican seiners got their quota, which means if they got their quota this early, I'm sure there's big ones around. I don't know if they're in our zone yet, but there's bigger fish around. So that's the simple, basic, cover your ground setup is what I would bring if I was leaving on a day-and-a-half trip tonight.
So last year, April 1st, there were fish around. When you fire up the Pacific Queen April 1st, you expect to catch fish?
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Damn right.
I mean, hard to be crystal ball, but I mean, it could happen, right?
For us, the last couple of years, we weren't the first boat to get rolling because, we do these big maintenance projects every year to better the boat. So we kind of, I'd say the rough work was done. The guys had already located fish or located an area for us to fish, which is probably going to happen here. It seems like there's more interest in fishing. Boats are getting out on the weekends. Guys are, sick of sitting on the couch. They want to get out there and start fishing again. So hopefully before we start running that there's some guys catching, but if not, then we'll look at do what we do, Yeah.
I got a question. When you talked about your last big outfit, that 130-pound outfit, is that a what would the typical rod or reel be? Because 130-pound could be a 50 wide these days, or it could be a it could be a Talica 20, and everything in between, a reel that fits in the palm of your hand but is real strong, or a real big, heavy framed, international Tiagra type thing. What's an ideal setup?
So for me on the Pacific Queen, the last 3 years, we've done an enormous amount of fishing at night. I'd say last season, from when we started fishing until probably August, I'd say 60% of the tuna we caught at least was when the sun was down.
Wow.
So
better than half.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. There was trips where if you didn't catch your fish by the time the sun came up on your first day, like you were like sweating, like, uh-oh, this is going to be a long day, until the sun goes down and you're like, oh man, the sun's finally down, we can catch something again.
Crazy.
So, if you're an avid bluefin fisherman or an avid offshore fisherman nowadays, you basically have to have a rod that is for fishing at night. It's not like, oh, I use this for trolling and then I use it for this, So my rod that I use that I fish at night with is a Calstar 775 XH, and I have a Talica 25 on it. And that's, I feel like, the perfect size reel to where we've caught 300-pounders on it, so I know it can handle that. We've caught hundreds of 200-pounders on it, I'm sure.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not a giant 50 wide to where it's uncomfortable to fish.
Right.
You know, the free spool on it is incredible, so I could get my lure down there very fast, which I think is important. And it's something that I could fish for half the night and not feel like
wear
I was
yourself out.
Yeah, not be completely worn out in the morning. So, you know, hooking a fish on a 50 wide or something, when you get a bite, you're like, oh yeah, nice. But, you know, a lot of the time when you're fishing is you're not pulling on a fish, you know, so being comfortable before you get a bite is important to me as well. So the Talica 25 is, I think, the perfect nighttime fishing.
Because it's got the power and and it can handle a big fish.
Yeah, and it's also still small enough to where it's comfortable to fish, as well as, you know, light and free spools extremely well.
Yeah.
That's good dope.
All right. Hey, let's continue our catch course. The man on the radio, Marcos from Seaforth Sport Fishing, is on the line. Good morning, Marcos.
What's up, Marcos?
Good morning. How you guys doing today?
Great.
I tried to get some bad words out of Bralla from you, but he had nothing but praise. So we've been trying. We've been trying to get some kind of dirt on you, Marcos, but we got nothing.
There's no dirt.
I mean, you've been trying for what, like 20 years now?
25, yeah.
Come on. Well, good half-day fishing. I'll give you some dirt here, some dirt on the fishing. They're very good half-day fishing, very good bottom fishing on there, about what you'd expect going into March here. But as I'm sure you've talked about this morning, big news, San Diego back out running today, headed down the coast there, and we're waiting to hear from them to see how that goes. And both of those trips, the half-days into San Diego, are online through the month here. So definitely check the website, seaforthlanding.com. We got those half-day schedules up there. We got the San Diego schedules up there. Definitely worth making reservations ahead of time if the last couple seasons have been any kind of indication. And we've talked about this before, at least at the start of the season here, you're going to need your passport. So definitely have that. And we always talk about this too. It's like, those passports are good for 10 years. You definitely want to grab that because you never know where the fishing is going to be. You know, we may have 1 year where it's nothing but fishing islands. So definitely worth missing a trip there to get that passport and be ready to go for the next 10 years there. And, yeah, I wish I had more for you guys to say, but I don't know what else to talk about really there. The half-day fishing's great. San Diego's back in action. We got some great weather. I mean, what else do you guys want? Baseball's back. That's always a good thing.
You got it all going. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And, of course, Seaforth Sport Fishing, always a great place to go, both half and full day or overnight trips. And, Marcos, I have no bad dope about you. You always done a great job, no matter what Ricky says.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we all know Ricky, so he's always got something to say.
I mean, I got nothing but praise. That's the second best office staff in all of sports fishing. I mean, which is really good.
See, no, we've got you on record too many times saying we have the best office staff. Nobody's going to believe that.
That is the truth. What can I say? I can't lie about that.
Sure.
Best office staff, second best tackle shop.
There we go. We'll give that. Until Dustin agrees to be back on the show, we're going to let him defend himself from now on.
That sounds good, Marcos. Well, a great job. Certainly some good fishing going on. Get through a little spat of weather here. We'll get right back after it. A great report. One more time, shoot us a phone number if somebody wants to talk to you, book a trip going fishing out of Seaforth.
Seaforthlanding.com. You can make your reservations straight online there. If you want to call and make a reservation or have any questions, feel free to call the office, 619-224-3383. Follow us on all the socials at Seaforth Landing, and you can always come down, visit us in person, get your gear set up, make a reservation, and get out on the boat.
Great job, Marcos. We'll talk to you next week.
We'll talk to you then, guys.
Thanks, Marcos.
That's going to wrap up our Catch Report today, sponsored in part by the Fish Pros at Fisherman's Processing in San Diego. Not only do they offer the best processing for your fish when your trip returns to the San Diego landings, as well as your private boat catch, but now with Fish Pros The Market, you can purchase fresh fish, you can buy their smoked and jerkied fish, the spices, rubs, smoked cheese, the famous tuna burgers, that amazing poke kit, and the brand new ceviche spice. Stop by their location in Old Town on Taylor Street or call for details and order online at fishermansprocessing.com.
Phones are packed. Let's jump into it, Rick.
We're going to talk to Corey. Corey's called us from Escondido this morning. Good morning, Corey. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. Great to hear you this morning. Gavin, Matt, good to have you on. Quick comment about Captain's Concepts. I'm a subscriber. It's a subscription service, so it costs money. But I can, personally attest to the fact that it saves you a lot of money, not only from the good stuff you get, like you've been hearing them talk about this morning, but the way these guys talk about things on Captain Concepts and the videos they show, they dial you in on what you need and, more importantly, what you don't need, so you don't waste a bunch of money on gear that you don't need. So I just wanted to pass that along to anybody who's thinking about it. It's a great service. Really enjoy being on there and seeing the stuff they have to share with us. And then my question is for both the guys. What is your pedigree? Where did you guys come up through the industry, come up on the boats? Share with us a little bit about that.
Well, I actually started working at Fisherman's Landing in the rental room when I was 13, I think, and that's basically where it started. I started fishing on the San Diego, New Seaforth, and all those boats out of Seaforth and over here in Point Loma. And I just got to the point where I wanted to do something different, and I asked Booger if I could get a job, and I was there the next day, and I've been there ever since.
Wow.
I think that's so cool.
10 years ago.
Yeah, like your entire career working on the boat has been on the San Diego. Again, arguably the boat that runs more than just about any boat in San Diego all the time, and the whole career has been there.
Yeah, I'm there a lot.
I love it, man. I think that's great.
And then, me, kind of the same deal, but I started in Oceanside, just going fishing on half-day boats and stuff, and then, went from the going fishing to, hey, you scrub the boat, you come for free tomorrow. And, oh, heck yeah, that's a great
that's a good deal.
Doing that, and then I got a job down here on the Sea Venture 80. I worked there until I was, I think, 20. So a few seasons on there. I actually ran the Sea Venture 80 when I was 19, like right when I got my captain's license.
Yeah.
And then transferred over to the Pacific Queen, and I've been running the Pacific Queen for, I think this will be my 7th year, running the boat pretty much full time. And I bought into the boat, I think, around 4 years ago when I was. Oh, nice. Yeah, so I've been a partial owner for, I think, 4 years now, around 4 years.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. And I think, Corey, you really hit the nail on the head on the Captain's Concepts at $25 a month is going to save you a heck of a lot more at the tackle shop, right? Sorry, Ricky.
No, it's the truth. I mean, we're the same way. Like I would rather a guy come in and buy. We always feel that same way too. Like upselling a guy never builds you a customer. If you can talk somebody out of buying the wrong thing and just sell them what they need, you'll have a customer for life. And if you take advantage of a guy that doesn't know and sell him a whole bill of goods, you might make $50 one time, but if you save him $40 and only get him what he needs, you're going to have that customer for the rest of your life. I completely agree with what Corey said. I think it's smart.
Great. Hey, thanks a lot for the phone call this morning. Great text from Mike in San Diego. Love fishing both the Pacific Queen and the San Diego. I've learned so much from Matt and Gavin fishing on the San Diego and Pacific Queen. Can't imagine all that info that I can learn on their site. My question is, when they're not driving the boat, what type of fishing do they like to do? Good question.
We probably both agree fishing at the Coronado Islands.
Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh, yeah. I like
really.
Yeah, catching a yellowtail on the surface iron.
There's nothing better than that.
So you're driving a skiff or whatever out to the Coronado Islands. That's I
go on a skiff or I'll fish on the San Diego.
Oh, the San Diego. I just fish from that, right?
Yeah. I go bass fishing a lot. Largemouth bass fishing.
Largemouth. Yeah. I was going to say a lot of captains like to go largemouth bass fishing.
Mexico guy, local guy.
Everywhere. We actually just got back from El Salto with me and Ryan. It was
you were with Ryan on that trip?
Yeah.
Always good.
It's always fun down there.
Cool. All right, well, let's jump back on the phones, Rick.
You got it, man. How about Sam from Irvine up next on Let's Talk Hookup? Good morning, Sam.
Good morning. Great show. Hey, my question is for fishing yellowtail and the heavy jigs. You guys talked about it a little bit, but the gear ratio and things like that, I think I winded too fast with like a Trinidad because I was used to using a Newell 5-to-1 gear ratio. What would the skipper recommend for their best reel to use for heavy jig fishing at the Coronado Islands?
Well, that Trinidad, the Trinidad 20, Trinidad 30 is an awesome reel for yo-yo fishing. Talica 12, Talica 16, even a Talica 20. I like to have a spool that has a big diameter on it to keep the line pickup under control. If you were fishing deep and you have all your line out and your jigs on the bottom, you have to crank a little bit faster because your spool is smaller. So I like a tall reel. So that Talica 20 will keep a lot of line on your reel, and you'll have way more control over your jig. But all those reels I mentioned, those work just fine. With those Trinidad's, they're fast, so you don't need to crank like the wind. Just nice, steady, and just kind of go from there. You can stop and go, pick it up, slow it down. And that works really well.
All right, great. Hey, thanks a lot for the call this morning.
I had a good text. This one was from Jay in Chula Vista, and he's kind of wanting to know about the rigging of heavy flat falls and knife jigs. Do you guys like to change for heavy assist hooks? What do you like? And with the heavy bite leaders, like the 200-pound, do you need to change that leader after every fish? Or if it looks okay and the jig seems to fish okay, do you reuse it again?
I'm a huge fan of assist hooks. I think those big single hooks that some people put on the lures, I don't think they get as many bites. I know they don't get as many bites, period.
You're talking like a big forged tuna hook, like not an assist hook, just like a big 7691.
Yeah, a big 7691. I've seen those, or Joe Boos.
Mm-hmm.
They're great hooks, but I don't think they don't get as many bites as you would on that type of lure, heavy lure. So assist hooks for sure. And as far as the heavy leader, what I do is I don't have a 3-foot heavy leader. I fish a wind on, so a 25-foot leader of 200-pound mono or fluorocarbon, and I'll crimp my jig straight to the end of that. So I don't have a swivel or anything above that. It's straight wind on to my heavy lure. And you're fishing 300-pound, you don't need to change it very often.
Yeah.
We've caught lots of fish without changing it. So definitely I shouldn't say not every time. What I do is I check it. I get a bite, I wind my fish in, and then I check it. When you're fishing 300-pound, you can afford to have a small amount of fray because the line's so heavy.
You can afford quite a bit of fray.
Yeah, you could tow a car
300 pounds.
Yeah, you could tow a car with 300 pounds. So a little bit of fray is fine. Fishing that 200 or 300-pound line, a big reason for that is so you don't have to change it. A lot. Just tying a hook on is different from having to re-crimp. If you're in the middle of a nighttime bite and you catch a fish, for you to stop and have to re-crimp your lure every single time is going to cost you some fish. Because sometimes those bites are short where you could catch a fish, drop down, and get another one. So fishing that heavy line enables you to not have to retie every time.
You talked about your favorite nighttime rig being that Talica 25 and that 775 Calstar. Does that 200-pound wind-on attach right to the Spectra? Is there anything in between, or is it just Spectra to that 200-pound wind-on with the lure crimped on?
Yeah, Spectra with a loop tied on the end.
Because it's nighttime. You're not trying to be stealthy at all.
Yeah, and then to a wind-on, like a 25-foot wind-on, and then right on the end of that, usually I'll start off by crimping it, and then, if it gets hectic and I see a big fray in the line or it touches the boat or something and it's nighttime, I could still tie a 300-pound with a San Diego knot, and that holds up just fine, too.
Wow.
That's it. Hey, when we come back, we got a lot more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way. More of your phone calls, more great questions. You stay tuned. It's Let's Talk Hookup, Southern California's sport fishing voice on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
Low gas prices are great. Free ice is amazing. But what sets Summit Gasoline apart from the rest goes much deeper. When you pull up to the pumps, you will first notice how clean everything is, the great sound system, and of course the low gas and diesel prices. Walk into Summit Gasoline Bistro and you will meet Martha, the store manager that heads up the well-trained and busy staff. Check out the selection of frozen bait and chum, the top-of-the-line Italian coffee, and so much more. Get your discounted Everingham live bait certificates, your free 100 pounds of ice with a 35-gallon minimum purchase. Stock up on snacks, beer, water, and soda for your trip. The amazing staff at Summit Gasoline are always happy to help you out. Sometimes little things make a difference, like free high-tech air for your tires, or the 2 acres at the San Diego Sports Arena that make it easy to pull your boat and trailer in and out. Summit Gasoline at the Sports Arena. Try them once and you'll be back. Low prices, friendly staff, and easy in and out with your boat and trailer at the San Diego Sports Arena.
One of the dream trips for most anglers is Alaska. There are so many lodges. How do you make a choice? It's easy. Choose the one most Let's Talk Hookup listeners return to time after time. Kingfisher Charters in Sitka, Alaska. No one does it better than Kingfisher Charters. They offer the best service, the most comfortable accommodations, fantastic food, and the finest charter captains in Sitka. All for the ultimate value. One visit and you will understand why nobody beats Kingfisher Charters. Sitka is famous for some of the best runs of salmon in Alaska. And if giant Alaskan halibut is your target, the expert captains at Kingfisher Charters know the hot spots and can put you on a fish of a lifetime. Plenty of rockfish and huge lingcod are there too. And when it comes to fish processing, the best in Alaska is Kingfisher Charters. It's all included in your package. In fact, everything is included except tips. It is truly amazing how the Kingfisher crew continues the quality of service they deliver year after year. Kingfisher Charters, 800-727-6136, or check kingfishercharters.com.
All of us at the American Angler family want to express appreciation to our regular passengers that fish with us year after year and to the new anglers that came out this last season. We realize how precious your vacation time is, and we are truly grateful that you have chosen to spend this time with us. It's important that your experience is memorable from the moment you call the office to the time you step off the boat. Hi, I'm Lori. Call me at the office, 619-223-5414, or check us out at AmericanAnglerSportFishing.com. Come fishing with the American Angler family and make a memory.
Great fishing is what Seaforth Sports Fishing in Mission Bay is all about. With free parking and fully stocked tackle shop, Seaforth Sport Fishing is a favorite among anglers. Come aboard top boats like the Aztec, Cortez, Endeavor, Apollo, Outer Limits, Elgato Doe, Pride, Polaris Supreme, Tribute, Pacifica, Pacific Voyager, and the Voyager. Plus, the new Seaforth, Sea-Watch, and San Diego offer the finest half and full day trips available. Seaforth Sport Fishing. To charters or schedule, check SeaforthLanding.com. Run by fishermen for fishermen in Mission Bay.
I can't wait to spend some quality time with my son fishing this year, teaching him about casting, how to choose baits, set the hook, and how to be safe on the water by always wearing a life jacket. Save the ones you love. A message from California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways.
To Let's Talk Hookup. Having a great time here this morning. Very busy morning on the phones. If you want to get through, give us a call at 213-432-1090.
All right, you have a chance to go fishing with Matt on the San Diego or Kent Ryan Boston.
Yeah, he shows up sometimes.
Now, you guys have a schedule. Obviously, are you ever both on the boat?
No, not the last couple of years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hardly see him.
You're either running it or
yeah, he usually texts me when he can drive, and that's when I take my days off.
Okay, all right, perfect. All right, very good. Well, let's jump into the phone.
You got it, man. They're packed solid. Everybody wants to talk to the boys. How about Tony from Los Angeles up next on Let's Talk Hookup? What's up, Tony?
Hey, guys. How's it going this morning?
Great.
So I have like a two-part question. The first is, what advantages do you guys think that there are fishing the knife jigs to our traditional yo-yo style jigs? And the second is, with it being so hard to get these knife and flutter style jigs nowadays, where do you guys find them at?
Well, the difference between the yo-yo jig and the knife jig is it's how it falls. And those knife jigs sink really fast. They're designed to sink fast, but they're also designed to flutter. So you get going down quick, and then you give it a little pop, and then you can start the flutter. And it's just, you could fish it on the way down and fish it on the way up. Those yo-yo jigs, it's usually when the fish are higher up in the water. It seems like they get more bites. And then if the fish are laying down deep, that's when you can fish that knife jig. And as far as buying them goes, Fisherman's Landing has quite a few of them. Seaforth Tackle has some in there. But I order a lot of mine from all over the world, really. Japan, Australia.
Wow.
I've got boxes from all over the world.
Gucci.
Yeah. Gucci. I know.
So,
only with the finest.
And along the same lines of the same similar question, Scott from El Segundo texted, a great show with the evolution of flat falls and knife jigs. How do you choose which one to use? And is there color? Is there like weight? What's your thoughts?
And let me just throw this in there too while you're answering. Like, I know that Gavin, I know you catch a lot of fish on a Chrome 6X Junior. Like that's still. But I just want to throw that in the mix while you're answering that question. That like knife jigs, flat falls, responsible for tons of fish, but that doesn't mean the old dog doesn't still work great too.
Sure.
It's the trick there, like what Matt touched on, is depth. You know, if I'm seeing the fish and size too, like for whatever reason that like 40 to 80 pound bluefin,
they cream it.
Oh man, they are just a sucker for that 6X Junior. And if they're in that like 15 to 20 fathom water column, like if I run up to the wheelhouse and we're catching that size fish and I see them in that water column, I know exactly what I'm grabbing.
That's what you're throwing.
Yeah. Versus, with the knife jig stuff, is a lot of them seeing like 30 to 40 fathoms deeper. That's when I'll be grabbing my knife jig setup.
Gotcha.
Knife jig replace a flat fall for you? Is it just different?
Oh, yeah.
Are they different scenarios?
For me, it's replaced it. Yeah, I like the knife jigs. I like being able to. I don't like Matt's saying is like I don't like waiting for my lure to sink. I'm super impatient, so being able to like get my lure down there quick in the zone and then be able to fish it on the sink and then pump it on the way up and doing all that kind of stuff. I don't tie on flat falls really anymore. Do you still fish flat falls?
Yeah, it's the same deal. It depends on where they're at in the water column. There was, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, they were biting it right beneath the surface. You'd cast it downwind, pop it one time, and you'd get a bite. And they were biting that flat fall good because I felt like you could keep it up higher for a longer time.
What size flat fall?
I think we were fishing like a 160 or
Oh, so
something.
pretty
Yeah,
light,
yeah, we weren't catching big ones on it. It was like 20 to 40 pound fish.
We'll take that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All day long.
Yeah.
like, for me, in that case, that's 6X Junior.
6X.
Yeah.
Single hook?
No, treble hook.
Treble hook.
Same thing.
You
Yeah.
gotta
Okay,
you gotta
just
have
a
a treble hook on
standard
that.
Yeah.
6X Junior
Just a
chrome?
Chrome, yeah.
Yeah.
Chrome. And they were hard to find for a little while, but I think you guys are carrying them again.
They're hard to get. Yeah, I mean they're gettable, but I think the biggest issue is it's difficult. It's very difficult for a lure that's made in California, which all of our jigs are, to get. Like the chrome plating process. It's California. You know what I mean? Like it's just very difficult to get done, but it's doable. Yeah, I mean right now we've got them, but that's just one of those things. It's tougher for those guys to make. They can make a blue and white and a scrambled egg, no problem. But getting the process of getting one chromed is just a little more difficult.
Yeah. That's one thing I get because I've used it the last few years, and it's worked really good. Every once in a while, I get a text from one of my passengers of like, he just bought 10 of them. And I'm like, God, man, it's hard for me to find them now.
10 more out of the deal.
But see, I want to keep stressing that's the importance of this captain's concept. It's finding out this stuff that you guys are talking about here, and it changes. I mean, there might be something different next week or next month or in 2 months, right?
Oh, it sure seems like every year there's something new.
Yeah.
And going back to what Bralla said too, flatfall gets preached so much. The bigger the better. The big giant 300 grams, got to be glow, got to have giant hooks. 160 gram lure fished in the daytime. That's a different world from a big nighttime thing,
Yeah.
But the word just gets thrown around. They're on the flatfall. But going on and seeing the video of him using that rig, those are two completely different things.
Oh, night and day. Obviously, you're fishing in the day, you're fishing at night.
Yeah,
it's way different. I got my stuff set up way different than Gavin's knife jig rod or that nighttime stuff. The 300 pound test. You're not fishing that where I'm fishing.
And same with us. That my flatfall rod that I'll use at nighttime. I don't even glance at that thing during the daytime. 300 pound line and a 300 gram lure during the day.
No way.
Never dropped it in the water during the daytime. Not a chance. But that sun goes down and
that's it, huh?
It all changes then, yeah.
All right, very good. Well, let's go and jump back into it.
You got it. How about this time we talk to Daniel. Daniel's calling us from Rancho Cucamonga. Good morning, Daniel. Thanks for joining us here on Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning, guys. What a great show. I have a question. When it comes to a rod for throwing jigs, do we kind of use like a fast rod or extra fast or a more parabolic rod? Any recommendations?
Are you talking surface irons?
Yes.
Really depends on your casting style, in my opinion. I like to fish in a lure, but there's guys who like to fish a slower, softer rod. Just depends on your casting style. How big you are is a like how tall and how strong you are is a big factor. If you're a shorter, smaller guy, a slower, kind of softer rod is going to be easier for you to cast than like a big, beefy lure that I fish. I get that thing moving pretty quickly, but it really just depends on your casting style.
I think that well said.
Yeah.
And a parabolic rod is going to, it's going to aid in casting, and that when when the rod is loaded up behind you, you've got more of the rod loaded, and then when it comes forward, you got more of it pushing the lure off of the tip. But then when it comes time to pulling on the fish, the opposite applies. The harder you pull on that rod, the more it bends. So, nowadays, like a surface iron rod is being asked to do so many more things than it was 10 years ago. A long time ago, you wanted to cast a Tatty 45 a really long way and then wind in a yellowtail. And if you hooked a 25-pound yellowtail, it was a little more tough than it was to catch a 12-pounder, but that was kind of the extent of it. Now, that same rod, you might try to land a 100-pound bluefin on. So, Bralla said it best. It just depends a little bit on your body, how you cast, and what you're trying to do with it. Because a barracuda calico bass rod could be greatly different than what you want to try and target a bluefin with a surface iron on.
All right, very good. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
How about we jump back into him this time? Talk to Cliff, calling from Santa Barbara. Good morning, Cliff. Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
What's up, Cliff?
Great.
Good. Yeah. My question is, I know you guys are talking about surface fishing with the irons, and my question is, what do you guys think about using the hookup baits fishing for yellowtails? Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
They definitely work. They definitely have a time and a place. Seems like late spring, like early summer, we do catch quite a few of those yellowtail on the hookup baits. And actually, you can have a really good day at the Coronado Islands when the bass are biting. You catch a mixed bag of everything. It really just depends on how deep they are. If we're fishing shallow, you stand a shot. The only issue I have with it is if you fish the Coronado Islands before, you've probably dealt with a sea line or two. And you usually have to fish the hookup baits on a lighter fishing pole, and you lose a lot to the sea lines fishing that lighter gear.
Yeah, versus like if you're fishing a yo-yo,
yeah,
you can wind those
40
guys
pound,
in.
you can get them in.
Highly recommend the yo-yo versus that.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
All right, Ricky, you have, great. Thanks a lot for the call this morning.
Yeah,
you have a great text.
I do. Text for Gavin says this was Darren from Capistrano Beach. The Pacific Queen website shows that damn near all of your trips are sold out all summer. I really want to come fishing with you guys. How do I book a trip?
Yeah, that's just part of it now. We fill up well in advance. We posted our schedule for the first half of the year was posted by August, I would say. Of this last year, it was posted for 2022, and then we finished our schedule and had the rest of it posted up in October. In the last couple of years, the boat fills up sooner and sooner and quicker, so you just got to get it way in advance. I know a lot of our springtime trips are still open. Our main summertime trips are mostly sold out, I believe, but the springtime last year, April was one of the best months for fishing of the year. I know I looked the other day. Our first couple of trips in April are full, but we have plenty of room April, May to get on the boat. And if anything shows like the last couple of years, that's some of the best fishing of the year.
Best fishing of the
year. And I'll tell you one thing, that if it's anything like the last couple of years, it was fantastic fishing. And the second that fish does show, all of those trips will be gone. Yeah. So if you want that opportunity, book one right now. I mean, what's the worst case that's going to happen? You're going to go fishing on a great boat with a great crew, and you guys are very good at catching what's available to catch, whether that be great yellowtail fishing at an island or great bluefin offshore, whatever it might be. Like, there's some good fishing to be had.
Yeah, I'd say we have a really good clientele of regulars that come on the boat 10 to 15 times a year, and they're already booked. I get text from our anglers, hey, I got 15 trips this year, and guys that don't chase the fish counts or wait till the last minute. The guys that just book trips and go fishing, they have some slow ones, but man, they have some good ones.
Good ones too.
Most of the time, I can't tell you how many times. If you look at my calendar, my logbook, it's like terrible, 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 and then phenomenal day of fishing, and then terrible, terrible, phenomenal. So
yeah.
The
time on the water.
Number one question I get is like, when should I go? And I'm just, you just got to book some trips. And man, if you get 2 slow ones and 1 really good one, that's good.
Same thing on the San Diego, right, Matt?
Oh yeah, just book your trip. You just got to go fishing. If you're trying to fish the fish counts, you're going to be late.
Yeah, it's a good call.
And the same thing, you guys are hugely popular, so the boat just it books up. It's just, it's
if we
just
start
how it
catching
is.
anything, it's going to be game time.
And you're limiting now on the San Diego
35.
35, and you're sticking with that.
We're sticking with it.
That's awesome.
It's nice.
Do you like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
I was worried at first, but it's way better for everyone. We're actually taking more crew members now, less people, so you get more attention from the crew. There's a lot of room, and it's just very comfortable.
That's cool.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I've good texts here, and thanks to everybody. And we can only get to so many texts. We've got like 100 texts today, so very, very popular guys. But good morning. Pacific Queen and the San Diego are 2 of the most successful sport boats in Southern California. What is the main thing that each of you attribute your success? That's a good question. Rex and Santa Margarita, thanks for that.
I try as hard as I can every single day.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a great answer.
Yep. A lot of, like Matt, we're buddies, right now, but when it comes to fishing, like, I'm going to catch more than him every single day.
First, most, and biggest.
Yeah, first, most, and biggest, and I just, it's all I've done. I could speak for both of us, just our passion, and we, there's times where you could be lazy and what, and we're just not. We just try as hard as we can, full throttle, every single day. Yeah. And that's it right there.
Yeah,
and our crews, man. It's not us. The crew on my boat, the crew on Matt's boat is I couldn't do what I do without my crew. It's not a chance,
Yeah, the crew makes the boat for sure.
Yeah. I'm just as important to the Pacific Queen as my crew. Most of my guys have worked on the boat at least 3-4 years, 5 years. And, it's just like a well-oiled machine at this point. Everybody does their job. Everybody wants to be the best. And we just try as hard as we can as a whole, every trip, every day.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And you look at, the count show, right? You guys just like, is that same with you, Matt? It's like
We try our
working
hardest.
together?
Yeah, I hate losing. I'm not a good loser, so I'm trying to win every day, and I'm extremely competitive when it comes to that. So I'm trying my hardest the whole time.
There's sometimes you don't get back to Seaforth sport fishing till late because you tried the hardest,
I
right?
think I hold the record. I think we tied up at 10:15 or something.
Yikes!
And that's it goes beyond just catching the most amount of fish.
Totally,
that's a small part of the operation. When keeping up the boat, to the highest standards is huge. And we do, I probably have the oldest sport boat there is in this harbor, and we try and do our best to keep the boat nice. Customer service is by far more important than catching fish. We have terrible trips, just like everybody does, but when we have a terrible trip and our people are getting off the boat and they're like, yeah, I had a great time, I can't wait till our next trip, like that. That's important to us.
That's the W.
That's huge.
The fishing is the bonus.
If we go out and we catch 1 million fish and everybody's happy, everybody's happy.
Easy.
Yeah,
that's
but
easy.
That what separates, I think, the men from the boys is when you have an all-around operation, which I think we have, both myself and Matt, where we have a huge regular base of people that come out all the time, and it's way more than just catching the most fish. That's a huge part of it, but it's not all of it.
Sam Patel always had my favorite line, we wish nothing but success on the entire fleet. We want everybody to catch a bunch as long as we catch one more. Hey, well, the phones are packed up. Let's jump right back into those. This time talking to Ed. He's calling us from Mira Mesa this morning. What's up, Ed? Welcome to Let's Talk Hookup.
Hi, guys. Hey, what I was wondering about, what is the difference in using a fluorescent coated lure and that dropping down, to one that's not? Is there a difference on that?
Glow, like the glow versus the not glow?
Yeah.
I don't think it matters. It's more of a feel thing. You could spend your time glowing your jig. That's not going to get you the bite. It just needs to be down there. Actually, Gavin, you have a lure that looked like a sinker.
Yeah, I've never, I've fished glow-in-the-dark lures, but I've never held a flashlight
don't have
up
a
to
flashlight,
it.
Yeah.
No, I think your time is way more spent better, fishing the lure than trying to glow it. I've had lures that we've caught a bunch of fish. We had one on the boat for a long time. I don't know how we never lost it, but it was just a piece of lead. Bluefin have these lateral lines on the sides of their body where I think more so they're just feeling the vibration of the lure working its way through the water. And the glow on the jigs is great. And I think if you feel like it helps you and you're more confident in it, I think you should do it for sure. It's just not something that I use or think is important at all.
It doesn't make or break it, that's for sure.
When it first became very popular, we would always sell out of glow jigs first, because that's, fishermen, everybody wants the cool looking thing, and the coolest glow that also looked like a bait fish, that would go first, and then the other ones that were more funky that were glow, they would go next, and then as soon as you ran out of those, it was nothing but non-glow ones, and then the bite would get even better as the season got going, and then it was like, oh man, this red and white one, which is the funkiest color, it was the last one available, but that's when they were biting the best, and it's, this is the best thing. It definitely showed, when we, last year was hard to get a lot of things. When you ran out of this color, it made no difference.
One thing I'd say is with a lot of tackle, a lot of tackle is made to catch fishermen, not fish. I think color on a lot of lures, I don't think makes a huge difference. No, I think it might play a small factor in some things, but more oftentimes than not, it's how you're fishing it, and the angler that's fishing it is way more important than the color of the lure.
Yeah, and that's thanks a lot for the call, but that's the kind of concepts you can get from Captain's Concepts. That's what your goal is to make the angler better, right?
Yeah, for sure, exactly.
Yeah, and that stuff, that's valuable stuff.
Huge.
It's such
Huge.
important stuff. And not so much going in the tackle store and buying the stuff, but when you go into the tackle store, you're buying the right stuff, right?
And you're not trying to sell a guy tackle. That's the thing, that info is not coming from somebody that's trying to sell you something. You're already one of our guys. We want to give, we want to keep you coming back month after month after month. We want you to buy it for the year. You're not trying to sell them anything. You're just trying to, you're providing the info all the time. I love it.
Yeah, neither one of us are attached to any brands or companies. I use a little bit of everything.
Totally.
I use some of this, some of that. I think this works the best from this company. This, we're not
no affiliation.
We're not pushing a product. We're just telling you what we think is the best.
All right. Let's try and sneak in another one.
Real quick text from Erin Marie of San Clemente. Got a question for Captain Gavin. I'm a fisher girl. I can hold my own just fine on the boats. But are there any bunks available on the boat that offer a little bit more privacy? And is it possible to reserve them ahead of time?
I can't speak for all the boats, but for the Pacific Queen, yeah, we have our stateroom area is 5 rooms, 5 rooms each has their own bunk, or 2 bunks per room. So, and you can reserve your own room or your own bunk in advance through the landing. When you call the landing, you can do that, and you have to reserve it through the landing. And for the most part, we've had times in the past where we'll have a girl on the boat or a kid or something, and they didn't get one of those staterooms. And I always do my best to try and coerce whoever has a room, like, hey, would you mind giving up your stateroom for this lady or with this small kid with her parents? So,
when it's busy, maybe you can't guarantee, but you always do your best to make it work out the best that it can.
If you call in early, you can reserve them in advance through the landing. But if you don't do that, I always just try to do my best. And usually fishermen on the boat are all super nice, and there's always somebody that's willing to give up his stateroom to a woman or to a dad and a young daughter or something. They're usually willing to give it up.
Sure. Well, 2 people per stateroom.
Yeah, 2 people per stateroom.
Yeah, all right. Very good.
Cool. All right. Hey, when we come back, we got more Let's Talk Hookup coming your way, including finding out who's going fishing on board the San Diego. You stay tuned. More Let's Talk Hookup coming your way in the Let's Talk Hookup app and the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio.
The name that stands out among anglers is Fisherman's Landing, your top choice in local and long-range fishing. Hi, this is Doug Kern. Our hardworking crew will make sure your fishing experience is one to remember. We offer the finest open party trips from 1 to 3 days, the best charter boats available, and of course, our world-renowned long-range fleet is second to none. Fisherman's Landing is a full-service operation offering great half-day trips on the Dolphin and full-day open party trips on the spacious and comfortable Liberty. Since we introduced the full-day trips at Fisherman's Landing, the 85-foot Liberty has become a favorite among full-day operations with bunks for your comfort, huge bait capacity, and RSW fish holds to keep your catch fresh. Plus, Liberty has a big modern galley and 2 interior heads with showers. All our open party trips from half-day, full, or 1 to 3 day trips can easily be booked online at fishermanslanding.com or give us a call at 619-221-8500. I'll see you at Fisherman's Landing in San Diego.
When it comes to fishing rods for saltwater, there's just one name you need to know: Calstar. Take, for example, the Graphiter series. It's a true graphite and fiberglass composite rod, the finest it's ever been built. And for anglers seeking traditional performance, durability, and quality at an affordable price, the Calstar West Coast series of rods and blanks are the ones for you. Their master craftsmen bring decades of rod building experience to every rod they make. So if you want your fishing rods to be truly state-of-the-art, I always recommend Calstar at fine tackle stores everywhere.
This is Captain Dwayne Diego, Pinnacle Sport Fishing. Visual signs are one of our most important aspects to our charter fishing business. It's the reason myself and all of our crew all wear Costa sunglasses. With advanced polarization technology, Costa is designed to help cut through the sun's glare while providing enhanced color and comfort to help you see more fish. Costa was founded over 35 years ago by a group of fishermen wanting high-performance lenses for every fishing application. Costa has a West Coast style frame and lens for your pursuit. Check them out at costasunglasses.com.
There are plenty of boat slips and marinas in San Diego, but there's only one Kona Kai. It's not just a place to park your boat. It's a way of life here in America's finest city. The Kona Kai Resort Spa and Marina has multiple swimming pools and a private beach, waterfront restaurants, and award-winning spa, most of which is included for marine attendants. Check resortkonakai.com for more information. The Kona Kai Resort, much more than just a place to park your boat.
All right, welcome back to Let's Talk Hookup. It's time to find out who's going fishing on board a trip on the San Diego. We got all our callers lined up. We got all the texters lined up. We're going to, Matt, flip a coin, see if we can figure out who the winner is. You do it, man.
Flip it up.
Do it. All right, it is the texter this week, so congratulations to Darren in San Juan Capistrano. You get to go fishing with Matt, man. He made the flip.
That,
it's on.
huh?
Come on out.
All right. Well, Captain's Concepts, guys, what a phenomenal show and a lot of great participation for our audience. Thanks you very, very much for that. Sorry we weren't able to get to everybody. We just can't. But the best way to do that is subscribe to Captain's Concepts. Try it for a month for $25, right?
Yeah, check us out.
Yeah. You get all the different, like if you buy a month's worth, you get all the previous videos right now.
Yeah, you get all everything that we've posted so far, but you want to stay subscribed because you'll get all the current stuff. If you're fishing this summer, you'll get all the current stuff, exactly what's going on. So like Rick was saying, you don't end up buying the wrong stuff at the tackle shop. You know what to buy the right stuff, and you're staying 2 steps ahead of everybody else that's on the boat.
You're not showing up and finding out that the bait's small and you need stealthy hooks, or you're not showing up and finding out that, hey, it's on the jig and by the way, all those jigs are sold out. Like, you're getting that info the second that trend happens. You get to find out about it from you guys every week.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can sign up for the year and get 10% off.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. And I think if you just subscribe for a month, you're going to be hooked, and you're just going to want to stay with them because you're going to find out this is really valuable information.
It's straight dope, man. It's really good info.
Very few people drop off once they've signed up and got in on the content. We've had a few people that have dropped off. Some of that I would expect, just wintertime, nothing's going on. But for the most part, super positive feedback. Thanks for the guys that subscribed, that called in today. That definitely helps out. So I think everybody will enjoy it.
Good. So how do we do it? How do we subscribe?
You could check us out on Instagram or Facebook, Captain's Concepts. You can get a link from there, or just type in Captain's Concepts. You can find us there on Patreon. You can go to the Patreon app. You can download that on your phone and find us there, Captain's Concepts.
All right, very good. Captain's Concept, and like we said, Ricky Googled it. It'll come right up. Captain's Concepts, and of course, good luck on the San Diego. Matt, running every day out of Seaforth Sport Fishing.
Bring it on.
And April 1st on the Pacific Queen.
April 1st.
All right, thanks guys, and thank you all again for great participation here. We're going to be doing it again tomorrow. A couple of great captains coming in tomorrow too. Captain Marcus Medak and Adam from the New Loan will be here. Yeah, double up here, and now that's going to be a great show, and they'll have completely different concepts. But stay tuned. Tomorrow, 7 to 9 a.m. We'll see you right back here on the Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio and the Let's Talk Hookup app.